Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned.
Alrighty? Alright. When you find the line right there, there's a good blow, everything above it. There's a good blow, everything above it. WBO, Latino Championship, 10 rounds. Good luck. Touch him up, come out of the belt.
This is supposed to be the Mayweather-Pacquiao of action fights. Let's see if it lives up to the promise.
Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz. And ladies and gentlemen, I am here to talk about one of the greatest fights that has ever happened in this great sport that's known as boxing. And I remember watching it in 2012. I'll never forget it, in October. It was in Carson, California on HBO. The great HBO days. Main event, Nonito Donaire versus Takashi Nishioka. But that main event was definitely overshadowed by the co-main event, which you guys just saw there. Brandon Bam Bam Rios versus Mike Mile High Alvarado. When this fight got announced in 2012, it's a long time ago already, I said to myself, being a fan and the knowledge that I had in boxing, that, and I always say styles make fights in boxing. And when these two guys were advertised to fight on that card, I said, this is going to be a fight of the year type of fight. Because these two guys' styles were all about action. Brandon Rios coming forward, iron chin, likes to fight on the inside. Alvarado coming off some wars with Ridley's Prescott. And Mauricio Herrera. Good punching power, good boxer. Perfect definition of a boxer puncher. Brandon Rios coming into the fight 31-0, 22 knockouts. Mike Alvarado 33-0, 23 knockouts. Both Mexican American. And you know, in Carson, California, there's a high population of Mexican and Mexican American fans. And these two guys were matched up evenly and perfect. Their styles meshed perfect. And when that bell rung, these two guys showed as to why this fight was being talked about once it got advertised, once it got announced. And as the first bell rung, commentator Bob Papa, he said, round number 1 underway. Alvarado in the turquoise blue, Rios in the white. Max Kellerman, the knockouts, the punches these two guys are throwing have knockouts written all over. Max Kellerman again, these are just brutal. These aren't just power shots. These two guys aren't just throwing power shots in name, but in force. The number of shots here are just brutal. Rios' head snapping back and forth by the punches of Alvarado. Once Alvarado goes to work, now it's time for Rios to go to work. Oh my goodness, mano a mano. Alvarado with right crosses, right uppercuts, left hooks. Alvarado, being the better boxer than Rios, decided to stand in the pocket and fight Rios' fight, even though he was having some tremendous success. But Rios with a solid chin, man. It's one of the best chins I've seen in boxing during his prime. Rios just eats everything. He just keeps coming forward, just like Roy Jones said. Rios just eats it, and he keeps coming forward. That's one thing with Roy Jones during the commentary. He was laughing a lot, which is kind of funny. But they were talking about Ward trying to Mike Alvarado is trying to play Gaddy, and Rios trying to play Ward. that once Gotti got hit, all bets were off, and we got the fight that we got. It was a hell of a fight, ladies and gentlemen. The fight lived up. Styles make fights. The fight lived up to what everyone was expecting. A toe-to-toe, you hit me, I hit you back harder type of fight. And, you know, rock'em sock'em. And until the final, when it lasted. The fight got stopped in the 6th round when Rios buzzed Alvarado, man. For the first time in 6 rounds, someone got buzzed and stunned. And it was Alvarado. Rios saw it, kept throwing that right hand, charging after Alvarado. And then, boom! Another right hand, rocks Alvarado. Rios, right hand again. Pat Russell comes in and stops it. And ladies and gentlemen, there could be no better referee than Pat Russell on that night. Pat Russell barely got involved in the fight. He let these two guys fight. You know, these two guys went at it for almost 6.5 rounds, and Pat Russell was nowhere to be seen. Barely. The only time he was seen is when the bell was getting ready to ring in between rounds. That's it. Pat Russell is like a Lawrence Cole and a Steve Smoger. He lets the fight go on. If he sees a fighter taking punishment, he gives them a chance to fight back. If he sees the fighter fighting back, he gives them a chance. He's not going to go in there and get involved in the fight and repeatedly and stop a fight prematurely. No. Pat Russell is going to let them fight just like Steve Smoger and Lawrence Cole. And that's when we got the classic that we got. Pat Russell barely interfered in the fight. He let them go. And the better man won. Brandon Rios. In a classic. Of course, these two guys fought 2 more times. The second fight was a good fight. Another barn burning, but Alvarado showed as to, you know, that he was always the better boxer. He won a fight by unanimous decision. The fight by unanimous decision. And Brandon Rios got revenge in the 3rd fight, but it was against a badly faded Alvarado. You know, Alvarado was no longer the same. All those wars got to him, and Rios stopped him in 3 rounds. Alvarado quit on his stool. But this is about the first fight, ladies and gentlemen. I'll never forget it. On HBO 2012. It was a HBO Boxing After Dark, and I was happy to see that fight, man. That was a tremendous fight. I'll never forget it. Even to this day, like, look at me. I'm doing a video about it, and this happened more than 10 years ago. And it's just a great fight between 2 fan-friendly fighters. I was always a Mike Alvarado fan. Brandon Rios always brought excitement to the ring. So, and these 2 guys, man, they were meant for each other, man, and that's why they gave us the great fights they gave us. But I'll never forget this one, man. Rios and Alvarado. Tremendous back and forth war they had in Carson. Brandon Rios winning that fight by stoppage in the 6th round. Miracle Boy Boxing. This is your host, Jose Cruz, here to talking to you guys on a Wednesday, way back Wednesday edition. Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado, the first fight. Let me know what you guys think about that on that classic, man. I mean, I'm sure, just like me, you guys ain't forget about it. If you're a true hardcore fan, you'll know about that fight, and you know that it will never be forgotten, and it's one of the classics in this sport of boxing. I am your host, Jose Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.